Yes, so if you've ever been refused a study permit, you know how painful and sad it can be. It can be very depressing most times. And if you haven't, it's not advisable to have to go through that before you then get your study visa approved, before you fully understand the process and submit the best application possible. Because we've seen recent occurrences whereby people just submit any form of application, or they just get agents to get it done for them without knowing what is truly going on. So this is probably going to be the last video you are going to see before you get your study visa approved. It would contain everything that you need to ensure that your visa is approved. So ensure you watch to the end and ask questions in the comments when you have questions. So in this video, we are going to be covering 10 mistakes that can get your study permit refused. So the bad news here is that you could be making them right now, and the good news is that every one of these mistakes is avoidable. Now, the 10 mistakes. The first one is when you write a weak or generic statement of purpose. This, we've seen so many statement of purposes, and we've seen, words like, so common words which you are going to see as we progress through this video. When you show minimum funds without putting extra, we recommend an extra 10% to cushion for, let's say, changes in exchange rates. To also show for transportation too, because they expect that you can afford your to and fro tickets. It's more, you must also show that in your proof of funds. So when you just show just enough, there's no room for this extra cost for transportation that they are looking out for. When you have sudden big deposits, now, not just the big deposits are usually not the problem. What makes them a problem is when they are unexplained. You don't explain where these deposits are coming from. Convincing explanations. Fourth issue is when the program you are coming to study doesn't match your background. This shouldn't be happening in 2026. Studying in Canada is a process that requires deep understanding, and if you are not confident that the program you've chosen matches your background, it's best you seek professional advice, because there's so much information out there, and I understand that it's easy to get confused. But you stick with us, you will not be making any of these 10 mistakes. Fifth one is when you are overqualified for the program you are applying for, and you don't explain convincingly. You don't clear why. Let's say you have a bachelor's and you're going for a post-secondary diploma, you need to explain those things properly. We've seen various GCMS notes, and these 10 silent killers cover most, if not all, of the potential or possible reasons that you could get a visa refused. Sixth one is weak home ties. When you don't give the visa officer convincing reasons to show that you come back after your studies, because that's the expected thing. And there are so many ways to show home ties. I would have another video on this, and it goes just beyond saying you have family or using emotional ties. You need to show economic ties. How? Don't worry, we'll cover that. So the video is not too long. This is mainly an overview, and we'll go into details in subsequent slides. So when you have inconsistent documents, maybe here your age is this, another place you have a different age, or the way you are explaining facts is not just aligning, or you've been refused before, you submit different details, now you're submitting another application with totally different details, so can get you refused. If you rush the application, so we can't overemphasize this, starting early is always best. It gives you room to plan and prepare properly, but when you rush, you can easily make mistakes, especially when you don't have professional guidance with you to look at the blind spots that you could have missed. It's quality over quantity. It's not how fast, it's how well. And if you look at how admission happens, the intakes are usually open a year before school actually resumes, which gives you more than enough time to plan and prepare. Yes, so another mistake is when you're trying to travel with family and your finances are not enough. The main now with the study route, regardless of the program, as long as it's above it's 8 months long, you can come with family. But coming with family has two major demands. One is the financial demand. You have to show more money, and when you are showing more money, it requires more effort, and it makes it easier for you to get refused for proof of funds, because now you are dealing with larger volumes that you have to put in more explanation for. Depending on your financial background, it may or may not be challenging, but for most people it usually is when you are coming with family. Then the second one is showing sufficient home ties, because normally it would have been easier to say, oh, I have family, I can't abandon them, I'll come back to them. But when you are going with family, you need to show stronger home ties. And the 10th one is depending on part-time work. So in your application now, when they say, when they expect you to show proof of funds, they expect you to be able to afford it already without working in Canada. So you start including in your application that, oh, when you start working in Canada you pay back, that would already get you a denial. So let's go into details. So the first one, weak or generic statement of purpose. Now it sounds nice, but it's not strategic. When you say Canada has quality education, you see that as generic. It's just there. Oh, I've always wanted to study abroad. That one is also there, just there. And these are things we've picked out from real statement of purpose, SOPs from people that applied for visa and they were denied. This program will expose me globally. These are all generic statements to include in your SOP. They don't show depth and enough intentionality to get your visa approved. So to the visa officer, they've seen it 1,000 times, and it just looks like you copied it somewhere or from the internet. Now, in order for you to get your visa approved, your SOP must be a legal explanation. It must be clear, it must be strategic. Why you are studying, why that specific program, why you return on. Because the main thing they are looking out for in your application, basically three things for your visa application. They want to be sure you can afford the process, they want to be sure that you have genuine intentions of coming there to study, and they want to be sure that you have sufficient home ties to bring you back to your home country. That's the triangle that forms the base or the foundation of a successful visa application. The rest is building on this. Do you get it? So now once they doubt, refusal becomes easy. That's the easiest way to set yourself up for refusal, allowing them to doubt or to connect the dots. Moving forward, the second one on our list are financial red flags. So when you show only minimum funds, you calculate exactly tuition plus living expenses, nothing extra. It just shows that you are struggling. Do you get that? You cannot really afford the process, and they want you to be able to comfortably afford the process. So that's why it's always good to add extra. Because how about flight tickets? Let's say you want to get winter clothes, maybe deposit emergencies, anything. When you show the minimum, it shows pressure, but when there's buffer, it shows plan. Exchange rate alone can reduce the value of your money, so it's always best to add those buffers. So another financial red flag is sudden big deposits that you don't explain. Money just appears in your account, you don't explain it, there's no source, there's no paper trail. It makes it easy for you to get denied. Let's say you've been having low balances and all of a sudden you are getting multi-millions. Is a red flag. They will suspect. Do you understand? And to you, it might seem like, oh, it's just your family that is helping you. To the officer, it seems like borrowed funds that you truly do not have access to. Now, not all proof of funds refusals are the same thing. Some might be denied for the source of funds, some denied for not having the exact, or for not having enough money. Do you get it? So understanding the context of your denial using your GCMS notes is very, very important. And if you want us to help you with it, you can contact us. Our contact details will be in the video description, or you watch to the end and you can reach out to us, making sure that you fully understand these potential mistakes so that you don't make them, and when you want to work with us, you already have solid understanding of the process. So the best way to fix this now is to add buffers beyond the minimum funds that you need. You build a 4 to 6 months statement, clean, consistent inflow, outflows that show capacity, that show you have access to these funds, that shows the funds are traceable. Do you understand? We also have another video where we talk about our CAT system for getting your study visa approved or preventing you from being denied for proof of funds. So when you have large deposits, you document showing the source of these funds. And if you are using a sponsor, show the sponsor's income capacity. So they don't expect you to be they don't expect that the person sponsoring you is using up 50 to 100% of what they have. Your sponsor should be sponsoring with amounts that is convenient for them. Do you understand? So we'll probably go into more details of that in a separate video. Now, program choice, red flag. So when the program doesn't match your background, that is a very easy way to get refused. We don't see a lot of this because people are now understanding the process better and they are choosing better programs. Do you get it? So if you have 12 years of banking experience and you suddenly apply for early childhood because it's in demand, we've seen accountants apply for caregiving roles, and it just makes you wonder what exactly was happening there, who counseled them. And obviously the visa was refused for that and for other reasons. So yes, now if you are overqualified for the program you're applying for without explanation, you could also be refused. So you must justify why you are choosing that program, especially when there is high probability that they might see you as overqualified. So the best way to fix this is to show logic, you show progression, and you show clarity. Do you understand? You can change careers, but you must explain it properly beyond doubts that you are genuinely coming to study, despite the fact that you are changing careers. That is not just for immigration. So next on our list is weak home ties. So one thing that is not strong enough is just saying my family is in Nigeria. Even you saying your family is in Nigeria, you still have to prove that you have family. Do you get it? So emotional ties don't carry as much weight as economic and professional ties. Now look at when you say, oh, you have a job to return to, you have a business, you have property, you have professional obligations, or there is a career growth plan waiting for you after your studies. Now these serve as stronger home ties compared to saying you just have family. So you can add them, increase the number of things you show as home ties. So you must show something solid pulling you back. Now the quality of your application, you have two main red flags you can face there. So when there are inconsistencies across your document, your CV says one thing, employment letter says another thing, because even while you are filling out your application, there is a form where you fill out all the employments you've gotten, and you need to be able to back up those employments. So if you feel something there and your CV is saying another thing, it's contradicting, and it will make it easier for you to get a visa refused. So if your bank statement doesn't match your salary, that could also be a problem. Now if your SOP is saying a different story from the things you are showing and submitting as supporting documents, also a big problem. So even small contraindications can result in you getting refused. Now if you rush your application, so admission comes in, you panic, you don't have structure, you don't review your application, you don't even plan it properly, no explanation letters, you just submit. Do you get it? And visa officers would only assess what you've submitted to them. If they have to request for extra documents, in most cases, depending on the kind of documents, it might just be that a visa refusal is waiting for you, or they just refuse instead of asking you for the extra details. So the best way to fix this is for you to review all your documents, ensure that they are consistent, and take time to structure properly. So you have to explain anything unclear there. Moving forward, family and work red flags. So if you are trying to travel with family but funds can barely cover one person, that's a big problem, because family applications, when you are coming with children, you need to consider how you are going to cater for those children, when they start studying, you are dealing with larger accommodation costs, extra living expenses, and these are things that you should plan for adequately. And when you say you want to depend on part-time work to fund your studying, it's also a red flag, and they don't even accept this. Do you get it? So the best way to fix this is to prove that you can survive without working in Canada. You show adequate funds for your entire family, and the numbers must add up. So I recently saw a GCMS note for a candidate that barely even showed enough POF. He doesn't know how the funds he needs. When you use agents and you're just like, oh, you are not carried along, you don't even know what's happening there. It's easy for you to get refused, and it's quite painful. Now, so the key takeaway from all of this is that none of these mistakes are complicated, but they are costly. They are very simple, easy to spot. And if you found this video valuable and the mistakes we've shared have given you insights on how to submit a better application, don't forget to like, you leave a comment, and share this video with people that it's also be helpful for, and you subscribe for more updates. Now, if you are refused, the time wasted you can't recover it back. It's gone. Money spent on refusals cannot be refunded. Energy invested in failed applications also cannot be taken back. And every single of those mistakes, every single one is avoidable with proper planning. So I'm glad you came across this video so you don't get to make those mistakes, and we can confidently say we're part of your success story. So relocation is too important to gamble with, so you need to do it right on the first attempt. So you don't need to be refused before you successfully relocate. Do you understand? So if you've been refused before, it's not the end of the world. Get your GCMS note, study it. You can take time to rest and take it in, but don't give up. It's only over when you say it is, and success should be the only option. Do you understand? So don't learn through pain, learn through preparation. So if you are ready to do it right, comment, send us a message. Our WhatsApp number is on the video. Check the description for our link, reach out to us, and let's help you relocate Canada successfully. So thank you very much for watching, and once again, if you've gotten value, like, subscribe, and share this video with people that it would also be beneficial to. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.